Free transcripts for everyone. From Las Vegas, the latest from Podnews.net with Magellan AI. Podcast host RSS.com is the first podcast host to have released fully free automatic transcripts for all its customers. The transcripts appear on episode pages on the RSS website and should also appear within supporting podcast apps like Podverse, Podbean or Podcast Addict. Users can choose different qualities depending how fast they want the transcripts adding and could also edit them before publication. The tool was built in-house and has been under development for a year. Initially, transcripts are available in more than 10 languages. At Podcast Movement this week, Co-Host will unveil B2B Analytics. It's a feature designed to help business-to-business brands and agencies uncover which companies are listening to their podcast. Specialist audio agency Red Apple Creative and audio post-production house SNK Studios have rebranded to Forever Audio. Hindenburg Pro 2 Beta has added Mandarin, Swedish, Norwegian and Italian to its supported transcript languages. AdLarge has signed Pants with Kate and Leisha to its network. It was with Acast. Spreaker's free professional hosting, promised in a press release that Podnews covered on Friday, appears to be just a small tweak to the company's already existing free plan. After the press release's title, Spreaker Goes Free, and the first paragraph, quote, "Starting today, creators can use Spreaker's professional podcast platform at zero cost," misled us into believing this was a new offer. We're sorry and a bit grumpy. BetterHelp, a company said to be the US's biggest podcast advertiser, has agreed to return $7.8 million to customers in an FTC settlement after it apparently shared private health data with Facebook and Snapchat. And some alternative history for you. Serial was apparently only a hit because it was the subject of a parody in once funny TV show Saturday Night Live. It's a Monday, so time for some tech stuff. Syncing podcast audio to your Apple Watch goes faster when the screen's on. So Overcast has a crafty hack to get you to keep the screen on by asking you to play a little game. Adam Curry and Dave Jones were interviewed for a French edition of Podcast magazine. We'll link to the article in English today from our newsletter at podnews.net. A proposal has been made for the podcast namespace's author tag to include machine-friendly grouping of podcasts by author location. And the Conshacks app has been given a new look and has gained a number of additional features. And in podcast news, looking for a good show to enjoy on the plane ride to Podcast Movement, apart from this one obviously, Freakonomics Radio is focusing on airline economics with 2 shows already up and another for your trip back again. The show speaks with CEOs from Delta to Air New Zealand, economists, workers from pilots to meteorologists to flight attendant trainers to aircraft load agents and, of course, passengers. The Media podcast with Matt Deegan includes a recommended discussion on the future of audio at a conference called the Future of Audio Europe. From Listener, Defending Democracy with Malcolm Turnbull features the former Australian Prime Minister asking whether we're witnessing the decline of democracy. Expect guests including Australian MPs and a former British Prime Minister, Theresa May. And one of only 2 independent fiction podcasts in the Atlantic's 50 Best Podcasts of the Year, Folks Law returns for a new and final season yesterday. Folks Law has depicted, subverted, or in other ways dealt with queer fears from passing in public to parenthood, paranoia to private landlords, all with a recognisable Glasgow patter and all with an innovative, experimental approach to the audio medium. This podcast is sponsored by Magellan AI. How's the podcast advertising market looking in 2023? Join their session at Podcast Movement Evolutions in Las Vegas on Wednesday at 11 a.m. And don't worry if you can't make it. Just follow the link from podnews.net/latest to get the latest from their blog. And that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe, we're at podnews.net.